let's transition to Kansas City now. Because, I picked Dallas to win this game. Sue me, I was off by a point. Nate Burleson hit it right on the money on CBS. He said 31-28. I said on Tuesday, 31-27. So that close. But I did pick Dallas to win. And so by definition, I was like, okay, I think Kansas City's falling to 6-6. And I think when it comes to the Chiefs, and I've said this the last few weeks, I said it after the loss to Denver. Like, that was a game, that was the first game of this season, outside the Giants game in week 3, but they were never losing to the Russell Wilson Giants. So, different story. That loss in Denver, when they're road favorites, when they controlled their own fate to win the division, and they go on the road to Denver, they have a late fourth quarter lead, up 3 with the ball, 3 and out, and then they get the ball with the game tied, and 3 and out, is that the Chiefs have lost their aura. Only in the sense of, there is not the fear factor that they once brought to the table. Again, I've thrown out the stat multiple times on the show. Probably should have pulled up the graphic today, but it applies. Kansas City's averaging more points through 12 games than they did last year. They're giving up less points now, or around the same amount of points now as they did last year. Yard differential, point differential, way better this year than it was a year ago through 12 games. But what's the difference? This year, 1-6 in close games. Last year, I guess at this point in the year, they were about 9-10-0, 11-0, something like that, in one-score games. I don't know if it's the fact that Philadelphia just absolutely bulldozed them in the Super Bowl, and so that inevitability, that fear factor is gone. I mean, I remember even that AFC Championship game against Buffalo this past January, where it's Josh Allen's a great quarterback, second best player in the league at his position. There were times you saw Josh Allen, you saw the Bills, and they were playing tight, man. Like, it was like, and it's Arrowhead Stadium. We know that's a different atmosphere in the playoffs, but it was, oh my gosh, like the hand wringing. They look nervous. Jalen Hurts did not. The Philadelphia Eagles did not. They exposed the matchup advantage they had in the Super Bowl, and we know it ended up happening in that game, 34-0 to start. I don't know if that's the line of demarcation that has gotten this team the last few weeks, but again, or the last, over the course of the season. But as I keep saying, the plays that Kansas City made, people are like, refs. Folks, refs are bad in almost every single game. I mean, Chiefs fans, Patrick kind of said in the comments, but Chiefs fans were complaining about some officiating calls going Dallas's way. There were some ticky-tack ones, but by and large, it was some of the pass interference calls, were good calls. There was a lot of contact on Pickens and Lamb and what have you. But calls go in the other team's favor all the time. Like, people like to pinpoint Chiefs play just like they did with the Patriots, just like in another sport they did with my Warriors. It's almost like the best teams that are on national television with a national audience, there's more scrutiny, and therefore, because people think it's rigged, because their team can't win, because their team's not as well run, that's why the calls are going in the other team's favor. That happens every single game in the National Football League. But week 1, Chris Jones goes rogue, blows it, can't tackle Justin Herbert. Week 2, the drop by Travis Kelce. Kansas City about to score in the fourth quarter against Philadelphia. They're shorthanded. Kelce drops a pass. Think about Jacksonville, right? I mean, you are in position. If you just get a stop on Trevor Lawrence, and Trevor Lawrence goes boom, boom, boom right down the field, hits a big-time completion over the top, falls down, runs in for the go-ahead touchdown. Then you think about Mahomes and the Chiefs got the ball back, down 7 in the fourth quarter, with a chance to tie the Bills. Nothing. Denver. Ball in the fourth quarter, up 3, chance to milk clock, 3 and out. Ball within the fourth quarter, tie game, 3 and out. And then yesterday, it's certainly, Patrick Mahomes was the least of Kansas City's problems yesterday. And we could show you Mahomes' numbers. He was sensational against Dallas yesterday. 4 touchdowns, no picks, 67% completion, 261 through the air, 129 rating, and a QBR of 0 to 100 of 85. And again, the play, dear Lord, the play where he rolls to his right, was it Worthy or Rashee Rice? Or I forget who it was. I want to make sure I'm getting this right. The play where he rolls to his right and throws across his body. Xavier Worthy. I want to make sure I got that right. The play where it looks like, I think Quinnen Williams looked like he's going to trip him up. He's going to sack. It's going to be 4th and long. Rolls to his right, throws across his body. It's like, okay, there's like him and Aaron Rodgers are like the only quarterbacks in NFL history that can make that throw. You could say Xavier Worthy's open, whatnot, but to break out of a sack, keep your balance, roll to your right, throw across your body, 40 yards down the field. That is as tough a throw as there is to make in the book, and that's why Mahomes is special. And I had a line after the Super Bowl 2 years ago when they beat San Francisco. I will bet against Patrick Mahomes when he gives me a reason to. I did not say the Chiefs. I am not going to write them off for dead because they have 15 at quarterback. And again, I've said many times on the show, there are certain athletes, if you've got them on your team, you always have a shot. You are always in the picture. He's one of them. LeBron, Jordan, Steph, Kobe in basketball, in the NFL, Brady and Elway and Montana. Certain guys you never, ever, ever, ever bet against. He's one of them. But you saw yesterday, got absolutely worked at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Now, again, Trey Smith being out, again, part of the reason I picked Dallas to win the game was because of the injury to Trey Smith. I thought the Quinnen Williams of the world, the Oso Odighizuwas of the world, Kenny Clark would be able to expose that matchup on the interior, get up the middle pressure Mahomes, which they did. The fact that Kansas City has no pass rush to speak of. A lot of Chiefs fans were telling me over the last couple of months, hey, we need to make a deal at the deadline to address this. And they couldn't. So Dallas's weaknesses up front weren't exposed because Kansas City can't get pressure consistently on the quarterback. So up front, that is their issue. Up front, they cannot win at the line of scrimmage, can't generate consistent pass rush. They struggle to stop the run. And then the opposite side of the ball, Mahomes is having to run for his life and make plays, which is capable of making. The receivers are capable of separating and making runs after the catch, improvising, being on the same telepathy as Mahomes. But beyond that, they get worked up front, and that's been their issue. Now, Kansas City the rest of the way, and Romo talked about this kind of after the game was over. I think if they win out, they get in. I really do, because the rest of the way, they get a home game against the Houston Texans. We know how great it's the best defense in football. So that game's at Arrowhead. Texans offense is hit or miss. We'll predict their game against the Colts later. Kansas City should win that game. Home game against the Chargers. Listen, the Chargers offensive line is one of the worst in the league without Joe Alt. So that's a game the Chiefs should also win. At Tennessee, they're going to win that. Denver at home on Christmas is a tough one. We'll see. And then at the Raiders. So the Chiefs have two cakewalk games, Tennessee and Vegas. The two games that they should win that I think they're better than, the Texans and the Chargers. And then obviously that Denver game is probably going to decide their season. If they win out, if they go 11-6, that will likely be good enough to get them in the postseason, because obviously I understand Chargers, Jacksonville, Bills, the three wildcard teams right now, they don't have the tiebreaker against any of them. But my guess is, I've said this, I think the Chargers are going to be the team that ends up missing of those three. I really do. I think Buffalo's going to get in. I think Jacksonville's going to get in. I think Jacksonville might win the division. I think the Chargers are going to fall apart down the stretch because they got some tough games. They got the Eagles, they got the Chiefs, Cowboys, Texans, Broncos. I think the Chargers with that offensive line are going to fall out of the playoff picture entirely. So it's still out in front of Kansas City. But two things. They have to win up front, and they've got to make the clutch plays late. I mean, again, Mahomes gave them every single opportunity to win. Some of the drops by Rashee Rice and by Travis Kelce in the fourth quarter is what is going on right now? But when Mahomes goes down, scores, and it's oh boy, here he goes again. When he makes that play rolling to his right to Worthy, I'm oh dear God, he's going to do it again. Give the ball back to Dak. Cowboys bleed the clock. Kudos to them for high percentage completions, not just being totally conservative and just running the ball. Kansas City's in trouble, and that goes without saying. They're 6-6. The aura of the invincibility is gone, and it's up to the best quarterback in football. It's up to Mahomes to try and help them regain that. And he talked after the game about Kansas City struggles winning these close games.
Yeah, I mean, we got to be more consistent at the end of the day. We've had big plays, we've had runs where we can really just score at any time, but we got to be consistent for 4 quarters, especially when you play good football teams and they have a good offense. So. They have a good football team. They're playing well right now. They're the same desperation that we are, and they played better over 4 quarters than we did. So even though we have good plays here and there, we got to be more consistent at the end of the day.
Again, people said last year we want Kansas City to be more explosive. We want them more exciting and fun and high flying. And well, they have been this year. They've been more explosive. They've been more must see TV just from an eye candy perspective. Just win the game. I don't just win the game. That's why I defended them last year. Guys, they went 15-1. I don't care how they do it as long as they got the best quarterback and coach in the league, which I think they do. Spags' a great DC. There's only so much you can do against Ray and Dakota Prescott. As great of a DC as Spags is, as much success as that man has had in the postseason, going back to the Giants and now with Kansas City, when you run into that guy, number 4, it's a different ballgame, especially when you're running number 4 at Jerry World. Whew, Ray and Dakota Prescott, man, that was... Man, what a game that was. And, again, we're live right now. It's 10 in the morning. I'm sure the ratings will come out sooner or later today, but it will almost certainly be the highest rated game in the history of the NFL in the regular season because you got You got America's Team Dallas. That goes without saying. It's on Thanksgiving. Whole country's watching. You've got the most recognizable dynasty of the last 5 years in Kansas City, most recognizable quarterback, all of it, and Travis Kelce and the Taylor Swift factor. I'm going to say this. They talk about, and then we'll move on. They talk about the Kardashian curse. Like whether it was any of the Kardashians dating NBA players and their productivity just plummeted. It was like there were actual statistical studies done, and it was unbelievable. Like, okay, this might actually be like a real thing. I think it works in reverse with Taylor Swift. I don't know what it is. I don't know if she has them in the games. I don't know if she gave the heads up to CBS. Hey, guys, stop showing me because contrary to popular belief, Taylor Swift isn't the attention hog that people say that she is. I thought there was a funny moment where Kelce caught a touchdown in the first half, and CBS showed Brittany Mahomes. I guess they assumed Taylor was going to be there, but that was, oh, God. When they saw, I was like, that ain't Taylor, guys. I thought that was funny. But I don't know if Taylor hasn't been at the games. Like, Taylor's got to show up for this team. She's got to show up. Like, again, she is the reverse Kardashian curse. Now, Kelce's been great this year. He's played much better than he has the last couple of years. But I don't know. I'm just watching. I'm like, where is Taylor? She's got to be there for the team. She's got to be there to give them good luck because she has been that. But God, that was so funny when they showed Brittany in the box when Kelce catches a touchdown. Like, guys, not all blondes look alike, okay? Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.